Here are some of the basic tools that you need to actually do your freelance job. It doesn't matter what type of job you're doing, but these are some of the basic things that I recommend you do. As a freelancer doing this work for 9 years, 10 years almost, these are some of the basic tools that I have come across that I think are handy. The first most obvious one is Canva, because let's face it, you're going to need to edit your profile photo, you're going to need to add graphics to your Upwork profile, you're going to need to create, some sort of a thumbnail or a cover thing for your portfolio, for maybe a CV, maybe for other work that you've done in the past. There's lots of places in Upwork that you actually need to create that. And also, if you want to be a little bit fancy, you can do a portfolio, whatever, in Canva that maybe is a PDF or something that you can send to clients for references when they ask for work that you've done, especially if it's graphic work. Second, ChatGPT. Now, I don't recommend that you rely on ChatGPT completely because it has a tendency to not make things personal. Sure, AI is going to get better over time and it's going to learn your personality and it's going to prompt you with sort of making things better for you. But right now, we're not in that position. ChatGPT can basically read the project, right? Whatever the client has put up on Upwork, and help you in terms of like how to respond, how to write your cover letter, how to actually create a proposal for that project. But don't rely on it completely. Don't copy paste, edit, make sure that it's in your voice, make sure that it's personal, make sure that it's something that you are proud of, and put in a bit of extra time to go look at the client's profile, go and look at the projects that they've worked on, put on Upwork before, look at their website, look at their Instagram, look at their LinkedIn, look at other places that you can gather and put into that proposal letter or cover letter, because that's going to make you stand out and it's going to show that you have a little bit of initiative. Third, Zoom. Now, Zoom is one of those tools that is commonly used. People are familiar with it. They don't have to think too much at this point when opening their Zoom or starting a meeting or, conducting an interview or even just getting work done. Sure, Upwork has got its own sort of conferencing tools and all of those things, but I think me personally, I prefer to use Zoom or Google Meet or something like that because it just makes it easy to get these interviews and get these meetings done. Next is the Upwork app, believe it or not. I remember one weekend I was basically looking for work and we were traveling to the beach, driving a couple of hours, and somebody else was driving, I wasn't driving, and I basically had the app on my phone and I was just prospecting, sending out proposals, cover letters, doing my thing. And by the end of the weekend when we got back, I had a couple of interviews, right? So having the app on your phone to be able to respond quickly, to be able to look and research and find projects, to be able to communicate with your current clients if that's where you're communicating with them. I know that you need your weekends and you need to take a break and you need to balance your life and all of those things. But if you're hungry, if you're looking for work, if you're in a position where you don't have any work right now, the Upwork app is going to help you, because if you set yourself up for success, then you'll definitely find success. Next is the ability to use a project management tool. Now, not all clients use Trello or Asana or Monday.com or any of these other tools that are available, but it's a good idea to have knowledge about them so that when a client asks you hey, can you work in Asana because you're part of a team or because that's what they use to manage their projects and manage their tasks and they want to communicate with you there, it's a good skill to have and it's a good tool to be able to have on your phone, have on your computer, have access to an account so that you can get going, get into their account and start doing the work. Next is some sort of a password management tool. So a lot of my clients, I recommend they use LastPass. There's 1Password. There's a bunch of other tools available as well for sharing of passwords. And the major benefit for the client is that they can share password with you without you actually having the password. You wouldn't be able to see the password. And I think that's important because the clients, especially when they're working with freelancers for the first time or they're working with you the first time, they need that level of security, right? They're building trust with you, and maybe sharing passwords is over that line. It's over that boundary. It's not necessary that you need to see the passwords. Use a tool that allows them to feel comfortable. And if you have an account, it's easy for them to share those login details with you. At some point, you're going to need to be able to store files, or you're going to need to write in some sort of a document sort of platform. I always recommend Google Drive for storing files, but also for Google Docs or Google Sheets, or maybe even Google Slides, depending on the work that you're doing, because you have the tools. You need those tools to be able to function, to be able to do certain things for the client. And it's a good idea to have your own Google Drive, because then you can do work without the client seeing necessarily all the working documents or all the working pieces. Sure, some clients want that visibility, and so you can share those documents to them, but also just having your own space where you can, save your Canva images that are completed, save your videos, or save things that you have going on. So it's not on your computer, but at least you're backing it to some place. Dropbox is also another option. I'm not a fan of Dropbox because of the payment structure. I have a Google Drive account inside of my Google Workspace, and so that just makes it easy for me. Next, connected to Google Drive is obviously email, right? So if you're using Gmail or if you have a paid Google Workspace, maybe maybe clients are going to need to email you something or share documents via email, and they don't want to necessarily use Upwork chat all the time, then having your own email address is useful. It's not necessary that you have a domain email address. A Gmail will do just fine, but in terms of you showing or signaling commitment and signaling professionalism, having a domain name email address is kind of a big deal. It can definitely help you in terms of the status that you are showing to a client, in terms of your professionalism and your level of commitment. Next, I would say, and again, this is not required, but it's a good thing to have, is a website of some form. Something that's public, something that's maybe built on WordPress or Webflow or even Framer or Squarespace or something like this that's no code, easy to create, easy to set up. There's templates to make your life easy. You can do it within an hour. You can have something going. But a website will help create that visibility and that status and just elevate your profile a little bit more. And some clients are curious. They want to go and search about you. Like, they get your name, they're going to put that in Google. Are you a legitimate person? Are you somebody that they can trust? And for me, I think it's kind of an important thing. It's something that I've had all of my freelance career almost. As soon as I can afford to buy a domain name and then host a website is when I actually put that up, even though it was a very basic website. Even today, my website is fairly basic, but it does rank in Google for my name, and at least there's content on there that people can see, oh, okay, this is a legitimate person. Next is more on the admin side of things, is some sort of accounting software, maybe QuickBooks or Wave, that's going to help you just tally up your books, do your bookkeeping at the end of the year, or however often you need to do your bookkeeping. It's something that I think is necessary. Even if you don't have your own registered business, I think it's something that's important, because knowing where you stand as far as income or expenses is important. I have a spreadsheet as well that I record all income and all outgoing expenses, but having some sort of software that you can allocate and at least track and manage things in a better way, if you do need to do personal taxes or whatever, then it makes it easy to do those sort of tasks. Those are some of the tools that I recommend that everybody should have. And it's one of those situations where, yes, it's a lot to manage, it's a lot to figure out, but clients are sophisticated. They are looking for advanced help. They are looking for more complicated things, looking for people who are familiar with these type of tools. Because they're familiar, they expect you to be familiar. And if you don't have some of these skills, even though it might be outside of some of the things that you are doing in the day-to-day job, the knowledge of these tools can actually help you in the long run. And you could potentially use these tools for your own personal work. Maybe you're writing a book, or you're managing your own projects, or putting together a team or whatever. These tools can actually benefit you in other ways. So yeah, definitely subscribe to the channel if you found this interesting, and let me know in the comments, what tools are you using on a day-to-day basis that you think is not on this list and that should be on this list. See you on the next one.